there. That was my instinct. Where'd you come to New York from? Western Massachusetts. My family springs from that area, Stone said. Hence my surname. Great Barrington. I'm from Lenox. Welcome to New York, Stone said. We're normally more cordial than your reception this morning. Do you know who your assailant was, or why he attacked you? Chapman shook his head. Right out of the blue. Never saw him before. Not that I saw him with that mask on. I can't think of why anybody would attack me except a robber. I had a few $100 in my pocket, but he didn't get that far before you came along. I haven't thanked you properly, and I'm very grateful for your help. I'm glad I was there, Stone said. Why the move to New York? I've never lived anywhere but Lenox, but my father died a few months ago, and I sold the family business for a lot of money, so I thought I'd make a fresh start. Married? Divorced nearly 2 years ago. Might your former wife want to come at you again for more money? No, she got a very favorable settlement at the time, and she's remarried. Where are you living in the city? At the Carlisle Hotel for the moment, but I want to find an apartment to buy. Joan came back with a cashmere robe. Mr. Chapman, if we change it to this, I'll get your other things dried and pressed. There's a problem where you can change right over there. Chapman took the robe and excused himself. Stone turned to Joan. New client, new in town. Run off a copy of the list for a printer. Sure thing. She went back to her desk, printed out the document, and returned to Stone's office as Chapman did. Stone took the document and handed it to his new client. This is a list of names and addresses of people you might need to see or talk to. Doctors, dentists, insurance agents, financial advisors, real estate brokers, etc. Chapman looked through the list. Thank you. I'm sure this will be very useful. I probably should see the financial advisor first, since I'm sitting on a lot of cash. If I may ask, how much did you derive from the sale of the business? $260 million, give or take, Chapman. After taxes. And I got about that much from my father's estate. In that case, I'll recommend a different financial advisor. Stone said, taking the list from the recommend the name and address. Charlie is accustomed to dealing in larger sums than most brokers, and he's more creative in selecting investments. He handles all my money. I'll call him today. There's another attorney on the list, Herbert Fisher, who works with me and is usually available at that time. He works at our firm, quickly available in the Seaton building on 52nd Street. I work here mostly. They chat. Joan, the Trump was my clothes. The rain has let up a lot, Stone said. But you better take this. Are you going to the Carlisle now? Yes. Joan, ask Fred to drive Mr. Trump. That's very kind of you. We wouldn't want you to get all wet again, Mr. Trump. Call me Shep, he said, shaking hands. Joan will put you in the car. Joan came back later. Dino on one for you. 2. Stone picked up the phone. Hey! Dino Bichetti and Stone had been partners on the NYPD many years before. Now Dino was the police commissioner for the city of New York. My computer says that some of my uniforms just made a house call at your place. Tell me about it. I got out of a cab around the corner, made the turn, and saw a man, large, wearing some sort of raincoat and a ski mask, and come to think of it, a black baseball cap, kicking a man who was down. I hit him on the arm with my umbrella, then once on the chin, nearly missing, and he ran. The victim was my 11 o'clock appointment. Joan and I got inside. The rest is about as you would imagine. How badly was the victim injured? He's Charlie Fox for advice.
Oh, good. Sounds like he can pay our bill.
He most certainly can.
He said he's at the Carlisle Bowler. He wants to look for an apartment. For a while, then. He's all alone in the big city?
Yes. Tell you what, call him and ask him if he'd like to have dinner at PJ's at 7.
Okay.
Turn around back in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
She said. Did you tell him where it is?
Yes, I remember, but he's new in here.
Of course you do.
He says he'll wear dry clothes.
That's good.
I liked him. Seems like a good guy.
So did I. That's why I asked him for dinner.
He's going to need to meet a woman.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Anyway, the word gets around that he has money in the hands.
That much, huh?
That much.
Stone got to Clark's a little early, and Dino arrived a little later. The bartender in the Prince.
I invited somebody to have dinner with us.
What's her name? Shepherd Trump. That doesn't sound like a her.
It's a new client.
Commissioner, is that it?
That's not it. How about we just tell him you're coming?
Okay. Why'd you invite him?
He's new in town and alone, and he got beat up this morning outside my house. I thought he might enjoy dining with a view of something besides the inside of a hotel room.
Okay, you're a prince.
I said, Stone looked toward the door. Here he comes, I think.
He caught Troutman's eye and waved him over and introduced him to Dino. Dino's a cop,
Stone said. He's the guy you call when you need some parking tickets fixed.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shep replied, shaking hands. You look a lot better than you're supposed to, I said. How'd that happen?
Well, I was short on underwear, so I asked Fred to drop me at Bloomingdale's, where they have what I want.
Okay.
So, what does underwear have to do with your appearance? After I got the boxer shorts, I started out at the store, and a woman at a makeup counter waved me over and said, "You need help." She held up a mirror, and I saw that she was right. So she spent about 10 minutes doing stuff, and I looked human again.
So I bought whatever she had used so I can look human again tomorrow.
Good idea.
She said,
I heard about your incident this morning. On behalf of the NYPD, I apologize.
oh, I thought New York greeted everybody that way, Shep said.
You seem pretty cheerful for somebody who got mugged recently.
A couple of painkillers helped. They made me a little fuzzy around the edges for a few minutes, but I got over it.
Oh, Stone, I may have found an apartment to buy.
Good. Where?
The one I'm living in now.
In the Carlisle?
Manager told me it was for sale.
How much was he asking?
Shep told him.
I hope you didn't snap it up at that price, Stone said. Look around a bit. Start with what else they've got for sale, and if you still like the one you're in, offer them less.
How much less?
A third. He'll counter. Then you'll finally agree. How big is it?
2 bedrooms, a study, living room,
Kitchen, lots of closet space, beautifully furnished, including a grand piano. Do you play? A little. The guy who owned it was a big-time Broadway producer. He died a couple of months ago. So, the estate is selling it, not the hotel. That's right. What's the monthly maintenance? Maid service is included. No, real estate taxes, repairs, utilities, use of the gym, like that. Every apartment you would own has a monthly fee that covers those things. In hotels, it's particularly high because of the services available.
I guess I'd better ask about that.
You might also offer to rent it for a few months to give you time to get the lay of the land.
Maybe.
Shep looked across the room, where 2 nicely dressed women were being shown to a table.
Funny, I saw one of those ladies walking through the lobby when I left. She smiled at me.
And that's something else every high-end hotel has. dinner, you two come by for a drink. See what you think of the place. 3. They finished their apple pie and coffee and went outside. Chef, Stone said, you ride with Dino. Maybe he'll let you play with his siren. They settled up and drove to the Carlisle at 76th and Madison Avenue. Shep led them into an elevator, slipped his key card into a slot, and the elevator closed and went up fast. I'm going to get a nosebleed, Dino said. The car stopped and they stepped into a handsome vestibule facing double doors. Shep let them in. Wow, Dino said. That goes for me too, Stone said. You undersold the place. The rooms were large and the ceiling was high. They walked across the living room. Shep pressed a button. Sliding doors slid open, and they stepped onto a broad terrace with handsome outdoor furniture scattered about. The view was spectacular. South of the Manhattan, and all the lights were on. Great place for cocktails before dinner, Stone said, with the sun setting slowly into New Jersey. They toured the other rooms, and they were beautiful. Stone particularly liked the study library. Lots of showbiz titles, he said, looking closer. Those come with the place, Shep said. The manager said the only things the estate took out were some museum-quality paintings, which their decorator replaced with good but less expensive pieces. Shep led them back into the living room, pressed another button, and a mirror slid up, revealing a well-stocked bar. He poured them drinks. Stone felt the heft of his whiskey glass. Baccarat, he said. The estate is leaving the crystal, but they're keeping the silverware, Shep said. Somebody in the Everest family wanted it. Do you know what maker and pattern? Stone asked. I've got it written down somewhere, Shep said. Get on the internet and do a search. You can be ready to serve dinner in a few days. They took seats in the living room. Shep, what are you going to do with yourself now that you're a free man? Stone asked. Do? You mean like work? If you like. I'm enjoying doing nothing, Shep said. Every morning I have breakfast in bed, then I get up and walk over to Central Park and spend an hour there just nosing around. I do some window shopping on Madison, check out the galleries. I've already bought a couple of pictures, they're being framed. And in the evening I go to the theater or listen to whoever is entertaining downstairs. What did you do before your father died? I was the chief operating officer of the family business. Dad was always chairman and president. I knew it well when the buyer came calling. What sort of business was it? We designed and manufactured machine parts, especially prototypes. Dad always said we were the best in the business, and I think he was right. We had 7 plants around the world. Did you have any problems selling it? Not a bit. I sold to one of our competitors. They had wanted it for years. Dad had talked a lot about what to do with it, how much to ask, how much to take, so I didn't have any problems. Sounds like you've led a gilded life, Dino said. Don't you believe it? I went to work on the shop floor the day after I graduated from Brown. Over the next 30 years, I worked every job in the place. Didn't take much time off, either. Was your dad on your back all the time? Dino asked. Not after he was sure that I'd be a good worker. Then he would just turn me over to the next department manager who would put me at work. Dad and I had a drink every Friday evening to talk over my week. I usually had a few suggestions for him, and he took most of them. Dino stood up. Well, I have to get up and arrest people tomorrow, so I'd better get home. My wife, Viv, gets home from a business trip tomorrow, so I can't be hungover. Stone got up, too. As they got to the front door, Dino said, Shep, you'd better rest up because you're going to have one hell of a lot of sex after the ladies see this apartment. That's good advice, Shep said. Avoid the ladies downstairs, Stone said. If you can't stand it anymore, rent a room in the hotel or tell them you're a traveling salesman. Don't ever bring one up here.
never thought sex was something you should pay for, Shep said. So I'll be okay. Stone and Dino rode down together.
It's going to be fun watching him,
Dino said.
I hope he can handle it.
He seems like a very capable guy to me. Stone replied. 4. Stone was getting dressed the following morning when his cell phone rang. He picked it up. Speak?
It's Dino. Listen, last night when we were at Shep's apartment in Carlisle, you remember that he said something about strolling in the park every morning?
Yeah. I was going to tell him not to stroll in the park at night, but I knew you'd be all over me for disparaging your department's work in keeping the citizenry safe, and a bunch of statistics about how much safer it is in the park than it used to be.
All of that is perfectly true.
Dino said. Maybe, except for the perfectly part.
Maybe you should have told him not to.
Dino said. What's that?
A park employee found him face down in the grass near the Bethesda fountain. He's at Lenox Hill now, still unconscious. They found your card and mine in his pocket. I guess they like mine better because they called me.
I'll get right over there, Stone said. He hung up and called down to Joan. Get me a cab. I'll be down right away.
Yes, sir.
Stone presented himself at the ER desk a few minutes later. He gave the nurse his card. You have a Shepard Troutman here with this card in his pocket. He's my client. May I see him? A resident came out of the ER and the nurse flagged him down. There was a whispered exchange between them. Then the nurse said,
This is Dr. Sykes. He'll take you up to Mr. Troutman's suite.
Stone followed the young man into the elevator and they went to the top floor. The suite was one large room, with living room-type furniture at one end, and Shep Troutman at the other, in a hospital bed, apparently asleep. These are pretty nice quarters, Stone said. You treat all your ER patients so well?
No,
The doctor said. Just the ones in custom-made suits with the police commissioner's card in their pockets. Right, Stone said. Man, I wake him. He came to about an hour ago, and he's been in and out since. Take a seat and wait for him to come around on his own. He might be having a nice dream. What are his injuries? Just one, a lump the size of a hen's egg on the back of his skull. No fracture. The jury's still out on brain damage. Shep's eyelids fluttered. He made an effort to sit up. The doctor found the remote control and sat him up. Stone, Shep said. What are you doing here? Stone sat down next to him. You first. Have a look around and tell me what you're doing there. Shep looked around. Did the hotel put me in another room? No, this is a several $1,000 a day suite at Lenox Hill Hospital. Shep made an effort to sit up further and then stopped. Ow, he said, and his hand went to the back of his head. That's quite a lump. You should have seen it when you checked in, the doctor said, before we treated it. Dino called me half an hour ago, Stone said. It seems you were found in Central Park this morning, unconscious, and his card was found in your pocket along with mine. Not surprisingly, the hospital called Dino, who called me. You remember how you ended up in the park this morning? The doctor gave Shep support through a glass straw. I usually go to the park, but I don't remember doing that this morning. What's the last thing you remember? Stone asked. I was in the park, but it was dark, so it must have been last night. That makes sense. I should have warned you against walking in the park late at night. Then he turned to the doctor. May I see the contents of his pockets? The doctor placed it at the bedside table. After all, he said. Stone opened the drawer and took out a plastic bag. It contained a wallet, a key card from the car, a Mercedes car key, and a gold money clip with his name engraved on it. Empty. Were you carrying any cash? He asked Shep. Yes, maybe $1,000. How
about a wristwatch? Yes, a Rolex Submariner. You won't have any trouble owning or selling that. It wasn't a standard Submariner, Chip said. It was the 50th anniversary limited edition. How is that different from the standard Submariner? It has a green bezel, and the numerals are a little larger. Voice came from behind Stone. Now call it in. Stone jumped and turned around to find Dino standing there. Don't sneak up on me like that, he said. Oh, Shep said, and it had my name engraved on the back. It was a gift of my father some years ago. That'll help, Dino said, then made a call on his cell phone. Stone turned back to the doctor. What's his prognosis? Well, we'll want to hang on to him for a couple of days. If he doesn't die or have a grand mal seizure, then we can probably send him home. That's encouraging, Shep said. Yes, Stone said. It's always encouraging when the patient doesn't die. I've had considerable experience with people who've been hit over the head, and none of them died. They didn't have a fractured skull, at least. The hospital may just want to send you this room for a couple more days. He turned to the doctor. You can have him one more night, and boot him out again. I confirm Stone's diagnosis, I said. Are either of you a physician? The doctor asked. Of course not, Dino said with scorn. We're just cops. Together we've seen more skull damage than you've had hot meals. Possibly, the doctor said, making a note on Shep's chart. Stone gave Shep another thought. Call me and I'll have Fred here with the car to take you home. A very attractive nurse came in the room with some medication. Stone leaned over and whispered in Shep's ear. At these prices, it's okay to hit on the nurses. Gotcha, Shep said. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get some more sleep. He lay back and did just that. Dino and Stone rode down on the elevator together. Dino, I know, you're gonna ask me if there were any more muggings last night. Of course there were. None of them resembled this one, not the way the other two resembled each other. So this doesn't count as another coincidence? Of course not. Shep was practically acting on your instructions. Stone knocked Dino's fedora off. You dropped your hat, he said. 5. Stone went downstairs to his office the following morning and Joan greeted him. Fred is back, she said. He picked up Mr. Chalkman at the hospital and delivered him to the Carlisle at about 10 o'clock. Good, he said. Man needs some rest. Our city has not treated him kindly so far. Well, she said, if he's living at the Carlisle, he ain't doing bad. The phone rang and Joan picked up the one on Stone's coffee table. The Barrington practice. Hi, Dino. She pressed the hold button. Dino on one. Stone picked it up. Good morning. Did you avoid a hangover this morning? Yeah, a lot of good it did me. Now we've got a headache of a different sort. Shep Troutman called me a few minutes ago to tell me there's a dead woman in his apartment. Oh, swell. Any details? I'm in the car. We're just arriving at the hotel. Come on up in. Dino hung up. Call Fred and tell him to bring the car up, he said to Joan. What's wrong? Joan asked. Shepard Troutman has a dead woman in his apartment. He threw up his hands. Don't ask, because I don't know. He left his office and waited outside for Fred, who appeared in the lobby shortly. Stone got in. Carlisle, he said. Right, sir. Everybody's going to or from the Carlisle this morning. They arrived. Stone rode up in the elevator and walked into the vestibule to find a uniformed cop standing there looking bored. Morning, Stone. He jerked a thumb. Everybody who is anybody is in there, he said. Thanks, Harry. Stone walked into the apartment to find Shep dressed in pajamas and a robe, sitting on a living room sofa next to Dino. There were two detectives sitting on the opposite sofa. "Hi, Stone," Shep said, looking forward. "Good morning, Shep." "Not really." "Okay, Shep," Dino said. "You can start now. Sorry for the delay." "Just a minute, Dino." Stone turned to the detectives. "Sorry, fellas, you don't get to hear the first performance." The detectives got up and approached across the room toward the study. "Okay, Shep, from the top." "Okay," Shep said. "After I got back from the hospital, I went to bed. I was really tired, and I fell asleep quickly. What next? I woke up maybe half an hour ago, maybe more, when I heard a woman screaming. At first I thought she was out in the hall, but she was getting louder, and it was coming from the living room. I got out of bed, went in there to find the hotel maid hysterical. I got her calmed down in the bed, and she pointed down the hallway where the guest rooms are, and said there was a dead woman in there. I went and checked, and she was right. In the first bedroom. You can see for yourself. She's still in there." "In a minute," Stone said. "Did you touch her?" "I walked over to her and put my fingers to her throat. She was cold to the touch, and I couldn't find a pulse." "That's all? Did you disturb the room in any way?" "No. I came back in here and asked the maid to make some coffee, just to calm her down. Then I called Dino." "You got anything to add to that, Dino?" "Not yet. That's what he told me." "Is everybody on the way?" "The detectives are in the study. This place will be full of people in 10 minutes. "Let's go look at Shep's guest before they get here." "She's not my guest," Shep protested. "I never saw her before." "I did," Dino said. "Let's go look." Stone walked to the study door. "All right, fellas, you can come out now. We're going to view the body, and you can watch, so you can see that we do it right." They looked at Dino, and Dino nodded. Stone led the way into the bedroom. It was in good order, except that there was a green dress and some underwear and shoes on or around a corner chair, and there was a corpse in the bed. Naked, as it turned out, when Stone lifted the covers. "You know her?" he asked Dino. "I met her at the same time you did," Dino replied. 2 nights ago at PJ's. Well, we weren't exactly introduced. She and another woman walked past our table, and you, Stone, gave us a lecture on avoiding sin, as I recall." "Ah, yes," Stone said quietly. "Do you, Shep?" "I guess it could be the same woman," Shep replied, walking over and looking at her more closely. "Yeah, it is. I didn't recognize her in the changed circumstances." "That's understandable," Stone said. "Neither did I at first." A voice came from the door. "Okay, everybody out of the way." The medical examiner, a large man carrying a black bag, bustled into the room and walked over to the bed. He pulled the covers back, looked over the body, listened to the chest with his stethoscope, then turned it over and examined it again, finally returning it to its original position. "This woman is dead," he said. "Always the one for understatement, Leo," Dino said. The ME produced a thermometer and inserted it into their penis, then read the numbers on an attached electronic accessory. "Somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. He took a small zippered bag from his larger one and did a vaginal examination, swabbing the area, then placing the swabs in a slim bottle and capping it. She had sex before she died, maybe more than once, but there's no immediate appearance of semen. Preliminary cause of death, strangulation. I'll know more when I get her on my table, but that concludes my prelim. The investigator can have another." "Let's go back to the living room," Leo said, "and let the guys do their work." "What work is that?" Shep asked. "Looking for trace evidence, hairs, and such," Leo said. "Don't you watch TV?" "Can I put some clothes on?" Shep asked. "Nope. The investigator
got their coffee and sipped it silently until the crime scene had disappeared. Mr. Chapman, he said, have you showered or bathed this morning? No, Shep replied. Please come with me and we'll have a look at you. And then Shep opened his vehicle and closed the door. A few minutes later, the analyst returned. Okay, your man is clean, he said. He's showering now. He wants you to wait for him. Two attendants entered the suite for the gurney and departed with the butler. The maid came back. Can I change the room now? Stone poured them some more coffee, and eventually Shep came out dressed in a tracksuit. Thanks for waiting, he said. Where am I in all this? He asked. Innocent, Stone said, as far as I can tell. I agree, Stone said. Your story is backed up by the maid, and the analyst didn't find anything. The murder occurred when you were still in the hospital. How did the woman, whoever killed her, get in here? My guess is she used this apartment before you moved in. She got a hold of a key card somehow, brought her trick up here and delivered her service. And he strangled her and left. Why? Stone shrugged. Maybe she asked for too much money and that made him mad. These things should always be negotiated up front. Why was the maid here? It's her job. She probably came in, called out for you, and didn't get an answer, then went to work. Do you know? Shep asked. That's as good a guess as any. I mean, the guy didn't leave the cash on the dresser. The analyst didn't mention finding anything. Maybe I should go back to Massachusetts, Shep said. Don't deprive us of your company. Statistically, I think you've used up all your opportunities to experience violence. I hope you're right. Were you thinking of going running? Stone asked. Yes. Don't. You're recovering from a concussion, so you should just rest. Read a book or watch TV. Dino rose. I'll let you know if your Rolex turns up, he said. Take it easy the next day or two, Stone said. Then they both left. They got on the elevator. I hope we don't get him again anytime soon, Dino said. 6. Stone worked through the day and at about quitting time, Joan buzzed. Charlie Fox on one, she said. Stone punched the button. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Stone, I had a weirdo in here about an hour ago. Said you sent him. The only person I've sent you recently is Shepard Chapman. That's the guy. Is he nuts or what? Why do you ask? Well, he hardly sat down when he started telling me these stories. He was beaten up on the street. Again in Central Park. He found a dead hooker in his bed this morning. Like that. Gee, Charlie, why do you think that's weird? These things happen in the big city. How'd you leave it with him? I told him to wire me some money to open an account and we'd talk. Did he? Did he what? Wire you some money? I don't know. I haven't checked. Well, check it and call me back. Stone, no. A minute later, Charlie called back. I checked and he wired me some money. How much? $250 million. $250 million. My bank confirmed it. What? Is he crazy? Wiring a stranger that kind of money? I sent him to you, Charlie. That's all you need to know about his character. Now, do you think he's real? I think his money is real. Well, everything else he told you is real, too. He's new in town, and he has the worst luck of anybody I've ever met. What am I supposed to do? Figure out some investments for him, get his approval, and buy. That's what you do, isn't it? And while you're at it, get him to sign the documents making him a client. I wouldn't want you to get yourself arrested this early in the relationship. I'll call him right now. Charlie hung up. A few minutes later, Joan buzzed again. Mike Freeman on the wall. Mike Freeman was CEO of Strategic Services.
did. I saw the results of all three cases. This gentleman sounds as if he needs some personal security services. Should I call him? It's better if I call him, then get him to call you. I will sit here, huddled by the phone. See you. Stone hung up. Almost immediately, John buzzed. Shep Truck, on board. Hello, Shep. Hi, Stone. I went to see your friend, Charlie Fox. I think he may have thought I was crazy. He hustled me out of there very quick. Said he'd get back to me. Now that's my fault, Shep. I didn't brief Charlie much, so he wasn't quite ready. Well, I guess I might have thought I was crazy too if a guy like me walked into my office and told me about my recent experiences. Charlie got your wire transfer and is already hard at work on an investment strategy for you. I suggest you make an appointment with him tomorrow and hear what he has to say. You'll need to sign some documents too to open your account with him. I had a message from him, but I haven't had a moment to get back to him. There's somebody else you might want to call in too, Shep. Who's that? His name is Mike Freeman, and he's CEO of Strategic Services, a very large security company. Stone gave him the number. Do I need security? I think the past few days have given us the answer to that question. You have a point, Shep said. I think you need a security plan, just as you need an investment plan. A couple of guys to spend some time with you for a while, figuring out what you need to do to stay safe. What sort of things? How much cash do you carry around, Shep? In New York? 1,000, 1,500, I guess. You have credit cards and Amex. A Visa. Then you don't need anything in your pocket except enough for tips and cabs. You might also need a safety deposit box. And when you find a place to live, a good safe installed. I found a place to live, Shep said. Great. Where? Right where I am right now. I looked at some other apartments in the building, then I made them an offer. We haggled and settled on about a quarter less than they were asking. Congratulations. It's a beautiful place. You'll want to beef up security on the place, though, after the most recent event. I'll call Mike Freeman. Something else. Do you know? I drove my father's old Mercedes down here. I thought I might trade it in. Then get garage space thrown in with the apartment. Parking's expensive in New York. It's included in the deal. Good. Let's have lunch again in a few days and see. You need to do some more planning. There are a couple more things I need. A Joan and a friend. Stone laughed. If you hired them away, I'd have to shoot you, or myself. Don't call an employment agency, though. I'll put them to work on finding you somebody. Fair enough. I'll talk to you later. Stone hung up, thinking Shep Troutman might yet survive living in New York City. 7. Stone was on a phone call when Joan came into his office and held up a note. Shep. He excused himself from his presence.